Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Excuse me. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you all had a great weekend, coming into a new week, ready for the week ahead. Like always, guys, any page you're looking at, feel free to let me know in the chat. We'll take a look at it for you, see what's happening on different time frames. Doesn't matter if you're working the lower or the higher time frames. Let me know, discuss, see what's happening, share our opinions. And also, if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link there to IC Markets. Feel free to go and check that out if you want to. And yeah, my Telegram there as well. If you do want to take a look at my trades, I do share them there as well, and different setups I'm looking at for the week. But for all that said, hope you guys do enjoy the stream. Let me know what pairs you're looking at. But as you can see, I'm currently trading Pound Aud right now, which I got in yesterday. And for the people on my Telegram, you would know that. Well, if you look at it anyway. But yeah, did get on to this one yesterday, a little bit late to the party. Wasn't at the charts at the time for the entry signal that I would have liked to have gotten, which is the prior candle before here, when we got that nice bearish engulfing at that level. So unfortunately did miss out on a few pips, and Pound AD has quite a lot of pips about it, about 40 pips there of that one candle. But yeah, I do have a bearish view on this, looking for a big swing to the downside for Pound AUD. I'm bearish on this one. As you can see, TP1, TP2, TP3, a long way to go if this one does play out. So far, did see some nice momentum yesterday. Actually, I lied, it was very, very choppy yesterday. It picked up overnight a little bit, but then we had some pound news this morning, and as you can see, we've got that massive bullish engulfing 4H candle, and obviously with that strong momentum, and I think that was from 7 a.m. GMT or BTS I should say, British Summer Time. But yeah, I did see some strength there from the pound. As you can see, big move to the upside. If you look at all pound pairs, you know, pretty much had the exact same reaction. Pound NZD moves to the upside, you know, pound USD, I'm pretty sure that's moving, yeah, exactly, pound USD is flying right now. So picked up around that time, reacting to the news. I still do have that bearish bias for Pound AUD overall. Again, I'm not really too much into the fundamental scene, you know, basically purely technicals for my bias analysis, you know, entries, everything, exits, all technical analysis. So, you know, technicals for me still pointing to the downside. We still do have these lower highs consecutively forming, so it tells me that the sellers, the bears, are still in control. It is a bit messy because, again, you can see price action is pretty much ranging, but the lower highs are still painting us a picture, and as long as we don't go and break through structure, you know, we most likely will see price roll back over to the downside and continue that higher time frame trend, which you've had, you know, since we had that big meltdown not too long ago. So which is what I'm looking for the trend to continue. We've had multiple attempts to break through this resistance, failed each time, forming some lower highs. So I do expect the bears to win this battle. If we suddenly see momentum to take us through this, it means either one, we're having a big fake out and the market's going to come back and roll over, or two, we're actually going to have, you know, a full-fledged reversal here, and we can start, you know, having some bullish targets to the upside, and, you know, pretty much change my whole bias and outlook for the pair for at least the next, you know, few weeks, pretty much. So yeah, if we do rally through that, I'll look to change my bias as long as it's not a false breakout, so as long as we don't come straight back underneath. But yeah, as long as we stay above, below this, form those lower highs, I do have that bearish bias in Pound AUD, and pretty much all the other pairs similar to this one, Pound AUD, Pound NZD, I still do have bearish bias for this one. Again, quite not set yet, but I still do see this one rolling over. Again, I do have those higher time frame targets, which I'll be talking about on my weekly analysis. If you haven't checked that out for this week, feel free to go do so. You know, it's the most recent video on my channel, where I just analysed the pairs for the week ahead, including Pound NZD, which I do expect to be rolling over if we can successfully hold this area back down to these lows. So yeah, a bit more of a longer term, you know, analysis for that one. It's definitely not ready yet for any sells. You can still see you're making higher highs and higher lows, so it's still a bit premature for this one for the sells. But I will be keeping an eye out because we do have a long way to go if my bias is correct. But yeah, similar to Pound AUD, all we have right now is consolidation, which is why I said to you guys, wait for the break of that, the retest, and you can get some sales to the downside for that one. So I've got my eye on Pound NZD as well, but currently trading Pound AUD. If you guys are trading any pairs out there, you know, feel free to share. We'll see what's happening even in the lower time frames. I know this is working on the 4H stroke hourly. Some of you guys might be trading on the 15. You know, let us know, see what's happening. But yeah, there's a few pairs I've got my eyes on this week. A pair that has surprised me is Euro Pound, because we've melted to the downside for Euro Pound after this breakout we had not too long ago. Massive breakout to the upside, breaking above that weekly trend line. You know, I was looking for the reversal, but if this momentum sustains, I know price is reacting to the news. You know, I know Pound is very bullish right now, and Euro is a little bit weak to be honest. So I know price is reacting to the news, but if we successfully close back underneath, this will just be a massive false breakout, taking out a lot of liquidity, you know, above this trend line here, above some highs. We took up this high over here on the left, so this could be just a big fake out here, and now Euro Pound can get ready to really drop to the downside, because, you know, we've been in this very, very choppy corrective trend, and price has to do something. You know, it has to do something. It either has to reverse or it has to really rip to the downside to get going. And, you know, it's ripped to the upside, and the fact that it's failing, and if you do successfully get back underneath, that's our, you know, textbook false breakout. And, you know, at that point I'll shift my bias to bearish and look for push all the way back down into these lows. So I'll just see how the momentum continues this week. Again, it's pretty early on. You could see an equal candle getting back above that. So keep an eye on it. But if this momentum sustains, which looks like it will, then I'm getting ready to short this pair down to lows, and that's again a really nice swing opportunity. Hey Daff, welcome to the stream. Pound JPY, of course, we'll take a look at that one. So again, Pound JPY, another pound pair reacting to the news we had this morning. Big push there, if you can see that 4H candle. But yeah, Pound JPY was a weird one because for the JPY pairs, I'm mostly still bullish on them, despite the quite bearish momentum we saw last week. I'm actually still bullish on a lot of them. Pound JPY was one of them I was a bit unsure on, mainly because you've broken through such a key level of structure. So structure is pointing to the downside, but because of the bullish bias I have on JPY pairs, so that the weakness of the yen I still see happening. I wasn't so confident looking for shorts for this one, and as you can see, momentum is taking us to the upside pretty aggressively. So I'm going to wait for this one to develop a little bit more. So again, a bit more neutral on Pound JPY. We do have some nice structure. You can see the high there, lower, there's our low, lower high, lower low. And now we're climbing back above this key daily level, which was kind of like a neckline here with the head and shoulders pattern. If I get the tool out to the left, head, and then right, and then we dropped. Now we're getting back above. So if we can stay above, I would naturally expect Pound JPY to head back into this resistance up here if we do stay above, which I probably expect us to do so now. So yeah, for this one, you want to be getting ready for some retracement to the downside. Again, depends what time frames you're working on, because if you're looking for a quick grab for Pound JPY, there might be some nice sells coming in. As you can see with this level here, a lot of fake outs, retesting this resistance at 161.395. I would imagine if we can hold this, I would expect Pound JPY to come down, retrace some of this momentum here. Then if we stay above, I'm expecting 163.600, 163.500, which is that high up there, which formed the right shoulder for the head and shoulder pattern. So yeah, if this is a false breakout, which it appears to be so far, especially with that momentum, sharp drop to the downside, sharp push back up, expecting some retracement to form like a mini head and shoulders here. As you can see, you got the left shoulder there, the head, and then looking for the right shoulder for the move back up. So again, head and shoulder, very common pattern, and very, very effective as well. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for Pound JPY here, because this bearish move here is so aggressive that you would expect the market to reverse, and the fact that we've seen almost equally bullish momentum going in the opposite direction means that we kind of faked out this key support level, and I would imagine we're going to head higher back to that level there. So price can either do one or two things. It could either just fly, because obviously pound's really bullish right now, it's reacting to the news. It could just keep going, especially yen is a little bit weak as well. Price could just keep flying and we don't get that kind of right shoulder development of the inverse pattern, or price starts to find resistance in this area, climbs back down, and then we see the bigger move happening. But again, like I said, it needs a bit more development for me to start looking for any entries or possible opportunities. I need to wait for structure to develop first to see what price is going to do next. But my bias would be up to this level here, and we'll see what price does when we get there. And again, short terms, there might be some sells back down, slightly aggressive, because again, you're up against all that momentum, all that bullish momentum. So it's probably the best thing to do to wait for candlesticks develop some structure on the lower time frames before looking for any entries. But again, there's not really much information there to do anything really. We're just coming into a nice level. We might hold, we might not. But yeah, it would be nice if we were to see that right shoulder form, but again, we don't have to. So that's what ideally I would like to see Pound JPY do. But we'll see. We could just blow through that level with the momentum like that. But yeah, that's what I got going for Pound JPY. Push back to 163.500. But the key thing to look for is that we must stay above this level here. stay above that level, and this is the most likely, most probable move to happen. Get back below, probably reanalyze the pair completely. I mean, might be heading south, but most likely probably will stay above the level anyway. And yeah, bullish targets for this one. ADCHF, no problem. Take a look at that one. So yeah, ADCHF seen some nice bullish momentum lately for this one. Again, I've been quite bearish from ADCHF, but because of the close of last week on Friday, I was a little bit more neutral, and I can still actually see this one climbing higher now, back to these highs here, because overall, to be honest, for ADCHF, it's not the best pair to trade. You can see the structure there. If you don't look too much into the highs and lows, if you look at it from a very neutral perspective, all price is doing for the past few days here is just moving sideways. So, like I always say, best way to trade a sideways moving market is to trade at the extremes, the highs and the lows. Looking for the sells at these areas and the buys, and also the break and retest, and the same thing for the lows. Trading inside here is where you're going to lose money, or it's going to be a lot difficult to find some good quality trades. So for me, for ADCHF, I'm going to wait for price to come back to the highs or back to the lows. It looks like price has formed a bit of a double bottom here though, with that daily candlestick there. So I would imagine price would be to continue. If you want to trade inside this zone, I'll wait for some retracement and a higher low to form. And then buys back to those highs would make sense, or wait to see what price would do at that resistance, and then there could be some nice sells coming back down. But yeah, I wouldn't really look to get involved with ADCHF. I know we are starting to make these lower highs, so we could potentially fall. That could be the next lower high. But again, it's just so difficult to tell in this kind of area. It could be the lower high, it could not be. It's just not enough confluence or evidence to say that's what we're favoring at this point. You're just going to have to let things be. If we do roll over, again, wait for the break and retest or some lower high somewhere to get involved. But if prices keep going, these are the areas you want to be entertaining any trades at those highs or at those lows. But in here, it's just going to be a little bit difficult to get any good quality trades. So yeah, for ADCHF, I'd wait for it to go to the highs and lows before engaging any opportunities. It could be the next lower high there, but again, need a bit more from price to give us that signal that the low high is forming. So yeah, keep an eye out. Could be lower high, so there could be some nice trades. But yeah, you might be better off just waiting for price to come to those highs, get some nice shorts going, or if we come back to the lows, get some nice longs. But yeah, this is a very, very choppy, ranging pair over the past few days, so not the cleanest price action in the world. Pound CHF, okay, we'll take a look at that. Pound JPY, yeah, I'll go quickly over that one and just did that, but I will take another glance over that for you, Deek. Hey, what you saying, King City? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. A little bit early for you there. Interesting stuff. But yeah, we'll take a look at Pound CHF. So yeah, Pound CHF wasn't the best pair for me last week. Took a couple of losses on this one. I was looking for the market to roll over, but as you can see, that resistance has broke. So yeah, for Pound CHF, my bias is changing, but I'm not really trying to do anything. It's not like it's changing for me to look to buy the pair. I'm just going to wait for more development in the price action, because I was looking for this level to hold for us to roll over, see some new lows, but you can see we're actually having a big push to the upside. So yeah, if the market really does want to fly, we should see some really strong momentum, which could happen now that we've had the news for pound prices reacting bullish. We could start to fly. But yeah, Pound CHF, you can see the structure of this pair, hectic, very, very hectic in this kind of area here. Now that this level's broken, I don't have too much leverage in this area. The fact that this level was holding gave me some strong leverage that we could actually look to roll over and have that breakout. But now that we've broken through that as well, which is kind of like the mid-level of the range, I'll only look to get engaged for Pound CHF at the highs of the range now, just because in that area it doesn't make too much sense anymore. So yeah, I'll wait for price to come back to the highs. You probably could snap a decent move to the downside. I'm not suspecting the whole move back to the lows of the range. Maybe, you know, some slight retracement, then price might be getting ready for a breakout to the upside. But yeah, I'll wait for price to come back to the highs of the range to get involved for this one, which is around the 1.25 area. Right now we're seeing strong momentum. I know we're coming back into this high here, but since we made a higher low with these highs, I do suspect this high to be taken out. So I wouldn't really look to sell at this area, even though it's a strong resistance. You might see some nice downside, yes, but I'd imagine it to break, hit 1.25, and then up here you can catch some better sells, I would expect. So yeah, that would be my plan for Pound CHF. Wait for us to get to the extremes of the resistance, then catch some nice sells. You might catch some nice pips here, but I think it would most likely be short-lived, and you're better off waiting for 1.25 to be hit, and then shorting back down. Yeah, we'll take a look at Pound JPY. I just woke up. See that? Yeah, I did see that was a nice trade in US 30. You did trade US 30 quite a bit, I've noticed. Yeah, how is trading US 30? Do you prefer it to Forex? Do you prefer indices to Forex or US 30, especially to Forex? Yeah, I'm currently in Pound AUD at the moment, in some shorts for Pound AUD over here. Again, hasn't really done too much, been a little bit choppy for me, but looking for that next lower high for a nice bearish leg to the downside. I'm still bearish on this pair for move back down into these lows. So yeah, a bit more of a swing trade with this one. If this does play out, it's probably going to take maybe the whole week or maybe even to the next week as well. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that happening. You know, that is the way of life for swing traders. But yeah, Pound AUD, I'm in some shorts for this one. You know, taking advantage of these lower highs for me. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive lower highs. I'm looking for the market to roll over. I still do have that bearish bias from that higher time frame, bearish momentum, looking us to roll back over to lows. So yeah, that's the trade I've got going right now, but it's taking its time. Did see some nice momentum yesterday, but because of Pound news today, is taking it back against me to my entry, past my entry price. So yeah, gonna see how that one gets going. But yeah, Pound news kind of messed me up there, but hopefully we can still roll over. As long as we don't take out this structure here, I would expect us to roll over anyway, but we just have to see how price gets on. It's going to take its time probably. But yeah, Pound JPY, so like I was saying for this one, overall bullish on this one. I've been looking at a lot of JPY pairs, and I'm still quite bullish on the JPY pairs. Not overly, but I still do see them going higher. I gave out some analysis for CAD JPY not yesterday, on the weekend. I said to you guys I'm looking for a push back into the highs up here, and I'm looking at buying from 100, really nice psychological level. We've broken out this area. I'm hoping for the retest of it and then get some buys like that for CAD JPY. So yeah, I do suspect more upside for the JPY pairs, but yeah, like I said, Pound JPY wasn't quite forming yet for me to be bullish. But after this momentum, if this can sustain and we don't come straight back down, I would suspect Pound JPY to be looking very, very bullish by the end of the week. So yeah, I'm looking for some retracement for price to head higher. Again, it's like another head and shoulder formation kind of developed here. You know, like I said previously, the left shoulder, the head there, and the right. Well, the right hasn't formed yet. I'm looking for the right to form, and then yeah, continuations back to 163.741. So that's the idea I've got going for Pound JPY. There is a possibility that we might just rally through this level, because obviously the bullish momentum is already present. If it just sustains, we'll probably likely break through. In that case, break and retest might be the better option, or will have to be the option. But yeah, I'm looking at Pound JPY coming back to these highs up here. The resistance 169, 163, 500, back into this area, maybe by the end of the week, depending on momentum, maybe actually into next week. But yeah, looking for some retracement and push higher for Pound JPY. I'm bullish on this one, back to 163, 500. I'm looking. Gold. Sure thing. We'll take a look at gold. That's 2 golds there. Of course, we'll take a look at gold. Yeah, I like index more. You said NAS. You have TG. Yeah. Okay. So you have those specific pairs that you trade. Okay. But yeah, how come you trade pound JPY, pound USD, Euro USD? Is there any particular reasons why you favoured those currency pairs, or is it just the pairs that, I don't know, move the best for your strategy or just work best for you? Yeah, I'm interested to know why those particular pairs. Because yeah, I'm gonna start focusing on trying to maybe focus on like one or two pairs as like a little side thing that I'm working on. Well, I haven't started working on, but I'm planning to start working on to see how my strategy develops on the lower time frames with just 1 or 2 pairs. So yeah, I'm going to keep trading my strategy now over the Y pairs I trade, but I'm going to start looking to see how my strategy performs over 1 or 2 pairs, and just on the lower time frames like 15, 5-minute, maybe even lower potentially. I'm going to see how that works out. But yeah, I don't know which pairs to pick yet. I'm torn between some pairs that I do like trading that typically perform better for me, but not necessarily have the most pips or the biggest moves. So it's kind of like that balance of which pairs do I pick. But yeah, I'm interested to find out. But yeah, gold for this one, we have seen some downside, and we have come into almost into my kind of area I was looking for the week, which was this support here. This is the support I was expecting gold to bounce from. To be honest, we've come pretty close. It doesn't have to be always to the pip, but this was the level 1780, 1770. I was looking for gold to come into this bearish momentum before we start to have that bullish reaction. But gold is looking a little bit bullish already, and on the daily chart we have come into this area here where we had 1, 2, 3, and then we had that massive bullish rally, and we've tapped back into that area. So 1790 seems to be doing quite a job for gold. So yeah, I'm looking at gold coming back up into this resistance here. So you can see gold formed this lower high here, came to the downside, and from that high, we've seen that massive bullish rally. So that's where I would expect gold to come into before maybe rolling over, which is around about 1848, 1850 level. So yeah, this is the area I'm expecting gold to come into before maybe we see another bearish leg to the downside, because at the moment structure is still bearish. You can see the lower lows and lower highs, all being formed there. So there's no real bullish structure maybe on the lower time frames for this bullish leg here. There's some bullish structure there, but the higher time frames are still bearish, so that's going to be my overall bias. So yeah, 1850 is where I'm favoring for gold, so some more upside, but from that area I think there could be some nice selling opportunities to take this one right back down, and 1890 could be the area where price heads to, which is support that price is rejecting right now. But yeah, gold I'm still bearish on, looking for some more upside because we're reacting to those higher time frame levels. So probably see some bearish profit taking now and some relief in the market, but I still do expect the market to roll over. If you look at silver quickly, silver's actually taken out those lows. Price had these lows here which were keeping price sort of bullish. You can see price is actually taking out those lows. I know we're creeping back in, but it's a strong sign of bullish intent there, a bearish intent there, and the fact that we formed some lower highs as well. It's not looking good for silver in the long term. We can still definitely come a lot lower. So I'd imagine gold to do pretty much the similar thing. So yeah, gold, I'm looking at 1850, which is this high there on the left, taken across. We'll see what type of price action we can get there, but I would expect us to roll over again. But for now, a little bit more upside, before we do roll over. So yeah, 1850 area. I think my strategy the best when I started do a GJ's GU, so I understand. Okay, fair enough. I mean, that makes complete sense. I mean, because obviously I've traded quite a lot of Forex pairs, so pretty much I don't really have an out and out favorite pair that I trade. I do have like out and out favorite patterns that I trade, which can happen on any different currency pair. But I wouldn't say there's a particular favorite I have. I would say like Euro USD, Pound USD, AID USD, USD CAD are probably my preferred pairs. But out of them, I probably couldn't pick one. I could pick one randomly, but not one for a real justified reason. Euro JPY, of course, we'll take a look. I just add over. I have 60 trades in all months, 3 months, 57 win, lost 3. Wow, that is very, very big win rate, and that's what, 90 something. Yeah, well, fair play. I mean, if you did that, fair play. I mean, if you have that sort of win rate on oil, I'll probably just trade oil alone, to be honest. What time frames do you work on for oil? Yeah, of course. What fits your personality as well. But yeah, Euro JPY. So yeah, Euro JPY, I've got a similar price action for Pound JPY as well, with the sort of head and shoulders as you can see there on the daily, and then we kind of got like the slanted neckline here, as you can see there. But we are seeing some recovery from this bearish drop that we had last week. So it's either one of two things the market's doing. The market is forming a higher low, getting ready to go back to highs, which I haven't written off yet, still definitely could be happening, or the market is getting ready to form another lower high to roll back over. The only way to judge that and tell what's happening is to see what price is doing on the lower time frames and just watching price action develop. So far we're seeing higher highs and higher lows. If you're going to focus on this price action here, which is pretty much the only thing we have to go by, we've got the drop here, which came from this point there. So we'll see what happens at 136 200. But so far all we're getting is higher highs and higher lows, as you can see. So I wouldn't be looking for any sells just yet for Euro JPY. If you come to these areas and start forming some lower highs, probably look to get in and see some reversal signals, probably look to get in for some sells, and we could be coming straight back down to these lows. But like I said, most JPY pairs I still can see coming back to highs, and if Euro JPY fits that pattern, we could just rally straight through. If that's the case, we're just going to look to keep that bullish momentum going and look to buy off some higher lows somewhere and take that higher. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I just need a bit more information before I give my judgment whether price is going to come straight back down or rally on. I need a bit more price action, a bit more information, a bit more development before I say where I think price is going. But targets literally will be back down to those lows if that lower high forms. But if the higher low persists and we keep breaking structure to the upside, then first target back to the resistance up here, and second target back to highs. So yeah, those are the targets I'm working with, but I just haven't got any confirmations yet of where we're going to go. But yeah, that's my outlook so far for your JPY. Take a look at Pound USD. Of course, we'll take a look at Pound USD, no problemo. Morning, welcome to the stream. I am still under training. I will do this all my life, so it's not a bad thing to take my time and not rush. 100%. That's a good mindset to have. There's no time where you have to be successful or made certain amount of money by. It doesn't really matter if you do it today or you do it in the next 2-3 years. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So yeah, take your time. 100%. There is no rush. Normally when you're rushing, you're trading out of desperation, and that's when things do get ugly, because you're not really paying attention to the skill, which is what you're trying to learn, of course. No, not oil on the pair trade. I like working my way from the daily. Okay, so fair enough. So you wait for the daily, but most wait for 4H when I set up, then drop to the 15 5-minute. Okay, so basically multi-time frame analysis and structure, I suppose, is how you base your trading strategy from. But yeah, it's pretty much similar to me, but I look higher time frames. Obviously, I don't drop to the 15 and the 5-minute. So yeah, I'll use typically the higher time frames and entries on the hourly. But yeah, pretty similar. But yeah, Pound USD coming up. So yeah, Pound USD was seeing some bullish momentum currently right now due to some news that we had a couple or 3 hours ago. 2 or 3 hours ago. We had some news for Pound, and as you can see, we reacted pretty bullish there for Pound in general, not just Pound USD, but strong push to the upside, breaking through this resistance here. And you know, it's looking like potentially we could see some more upside for Pound. Pound is definitely still bearish, still definitely forming a bearish structure, but we've broken through this point here. I wouldn't be surprised if price does come a little bit lower. You know, if I point out the key areas of the market, you can see we've broken through that high there, so we could potentially head higher. I wouldn't really look past this point here, because this is where the real momentum came from. We consolidated, pushed higher, faked higher, and then we dumped the downside. So at best, obviously we can go further, but for a trade opportunity, at best, I wouldn't look past that. And buys off the break and retest of that level could present some nice opportunities to go long and a push back up into that resistance. If we get back below, then this could just be a big fake out and then the retest to go south again. Because again, Pound USD still very bearish, market. Looking at the higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, you're still seeing that bearish momentum present in the markets. So don't get too carried away with the intraday and the lower time frame bullish momentum and think, okay, you've got the reversal, because again, that's a very zoomed in microscopic viewpoint of Pound USD. Yes, we're looking very bullish here, and definitely on the 4H hourly we are seeing some reversal price action, but don't confuse that reversal price action for the higher time frame and the real direction of what Pound is doing, which is still definitely south. If we can take out this level, then yeah, we'll look for the bigger reversal. But you know, for now, I think we can see some nice intra-week, intraday buys to the upside if you can get some good retracement. But don't marry into those buys, and do get ready for some sells that could form later in the week if you do get some of these areas to take it right back down again and stay in line for the higher time frame momentum if we do get those opportunities. But we've certainly had a strong break of that level there, so there isn't really much to do with Pound right now. We have that strong break, 15 minute, we're seeing some downside, but again, the structure, there's nothing really there. We have tapped into this level here, which price is reacting from, but yeah, I'm not really looking too much into that level there. I'm looking at these levels where our base trades from, reacting off that level. But yeah, I wouldn't really look to base a trade from that area. So yeah, it's either Pound USD doing one or two things. It's either having a big fake out, trapping some early buyers in, trying to get to the reversal early, and now we're going to melt straight back through the level, and then we'll look to get the retest and take advantage of the shorts, or we're actually going to see a deeper retracement, and we can look for that higher low somewhere and take advantage of some longs. And like I said in my weekly analysis, targets back at this 1.26 area would make a whole lot of sense. So that's what I've got going for Pound USD. I'm looking at the DXY as well. In the DXY we are seeing some nice downside. But again, in terms of structure and everything, it's nothing really too significant. It's a sign that the market is weakening because the pullbacks are getting more aggressive. So as you can see, we've had some really strong rallies, and now we're starting to see the market tire and some more aggressive downside momentum. So it's a sign that the market is tiring, getting ready to reverse, but we still definitely could see another bullish leg, before we do actually reverse. So do keep that in mind. So yeah, we are seeing some downside. We're coming to some key areas of support, but nothing too major for the DXY right now. We definitely could come into this area and bounce again. We formed this high over here. We've got the higher low there. We've got the higher high up there. But do get a fib out. Now you can see we've got 50% and the 0.618 in this zone here. So we definitely could come here, form another higher low and rally. So yeah, I wouldn't look to get too excited yet. It could be the reversal. When we take out structure, that's when we'll know. But yeah, still have that bullish bias for the DXY until those levels start to break. So taking that information into Pound USD, which is why if you don't take that structure out, I would expect us to come straight back down if we do hold on to that level. So yeah, for Pound USD, looking for that high low to form for a push higher. But if it melts straight through, we're going to look for sales back down to the lows. But all attention for me will be what we do on the retest of that level, if we can get a retest, because we could just continue to fly with that momentum. But that's where my focus would be for that one. Kind of similar setup for Pound JPY as well, looking for the retracement, the higher low to form. Then if that does form, buys back up into that same resistance. So pretty similar bias for that one. Again, pretty similar pairs as well. Structure is king, yeah, 100%. I mean, that's pretty much what I base my trading around. Higher highs, higher lows, looking at structure, breaks of structure, different structural patterns as well. So that's pretty much what I base my trading all around. That, and obviously top-down analysis. One live trade, please. Well, I'm currently trading Pound AUD, but in terms of giving out a trade right now, I don't have any trade right now. I'm currently trading Pound AUD, which I did post a signal on my Telegram. So if you do want to check out my Telegram, feel free to go and check that out. I got a link to that Telegram in the description, or if you scroll to the top of the chat, there's a link to that as well. But yeah, I'm currently trading Pound AUD, shorts in that one. Again, you can see the news did go against me this morning, so a bit unfortunate there, but the analysis and the structure is still in play that I'm looking to trade. So there's no alarm bells yet. I came pretty close to hit my first TP, first area we're going to take partials at, but it reversed off the back of the news for Pound. So I'm just going to see how this one plays out. Again, it's definitely more of a swing trade, longer term swing trade that might take a week or two to play out if it does. So I'm not going to try and force anything or rush the process. This is definitely one to forget about a little bit. But yeah, that's the trade I've got going at the moment. We've got these consecutive lower highs, failure to break resistance, failure to reverse really. So I'm looking at price rolling over to these key areas and then ultimately back down to those lows for Pound AUD. But we'll see what happens, because if that Pound momentum kicks back in, it could start to rally again. People usually say trading demo is a bad thing, but what I know is the setup is the setup regardless of whether trading live or demo. Yeah, true. That is very, very true. Demo trading. The only reason why people say demo trading is bad is because you don't get the live experience of the emotional and the thought process that you would have in the live markets, which is a very, very, very key element to trading, because you can be successful trading demo, and that's because of your skill, which is the important thing, which is why I would advocate and I would recommend to trade demo, because when you're trading demo, you're not really thinking about the money, you're not really thinking about what happens if I lose the trade, the money I've lost. You're not really thinking about, okay, if I win this trade, I can go and buy this, I can go and buy that. You're thinking just about, can I get this trade correct? And you're trying to do that consistently. So your main focus is the skill you're developing when you're trading demo. So that's where you can really work at your craft and take that to the next level. But when you shift to live, you experience these new emotions and these new thoughts that will affect your decision making, and will affect the ability of how you carry out your skills in live markets, will then falter your trading. So it's important to get that practice in a demo to master your craft. But then it's important to obviously have a small live trading account to master, the emotions and the thought process that will arise when you are trading live money. So I can understand both arguments, and both are definitely important. But yeah, if you're still working on your skill, working, developing your strategy and your approach and your analysis of the market, then yeah, you want to be going ham in your demo accounts. There's no rush to go into live, but once you've started to see some nice progress in your demo, then you can open a small live account. When you see nice progress in your live account, then you can start to look for bigger capital, with your own money or funding. But yeah, there's definitely no rush to go straight into live, and there's definitely some positive things you can take from demo account trading. So what is inducement? Inducement, yeah, I have no idea what inducement is. I don't really trade that. I'm pretty sure that's a smart money concept. I do not trade smart money, so I haven't really looked into inducement and all of that stuff. I just trade price action, chart patterns, structure, candlesticks. That's how I base my trading. I don't use smart money concepts. Not that they don't work or they're not good. It's just that's not how I learned to trade. So yeah, wrong person to ask about that concept. It's not really a part of my strategy. So wrong person to ask about that. Appreciate your time and efforts to provide this honest analysis. Thank you, Sally. Much appreciated, Sally MD. Happy to help. You guys are enjoying the stream. Please be sure to leave a like on the video. It does really help the channel out. Subscribe, join the family, hit the bell, share, all that good stuff. It does really help the channel out. And again, I do enjoy the live streams and meeting with other people. Learning Forex or already trade the market. I have really small account to learn. Yeah, that's good, Black Hoodie. You don't need a big account to learn. Big accounts are for actually making profit in the market. But if you're learning, your main focus is not trying to make money. If you're learning and your focus is trying to make money, you're doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. If you're learning, your focus is to learn. Pretty much self-explanatory. So if you don't want to jeopardize large amounts of money, obviously use small money that you can afford to lose. That way you can kind of keep it under control and really progress and learn that skill. And then you can start to build up the account higher and higher, expose yourself to a bit more risk to build up that risk appetite and that tolerance before you move into any reasonable sides of money where you don't want to make any stupid mistakes of blowing the account, and you're going to regret that. Bro, do you think crypto is going to come back? Yeah, I would expect it to come back, because I do think that money is going to become a lot more electronic, and I think in terms of cash and currencies based on countries and nationalities, I think that will slowly disappear. Again, that's more long term in the future, but I do think crypto will make a comeback eventually. I do think there'll be another bullish cycle for crypto and probably see some big heights from that. But that's just a matter of when, which I have no idea. I have no idea when that will happen. But I would expect crypto to make a comeback, maybe when things get a bit more structured, because it's definitely a bit more out in the open. It's a lot more risky, a lot more scams involved. So yeah, when things maybe get a bit more regulated and and structured through that, then I think we'll probably see crypto really come back, and it'll probably be a bit more gradual as well, because crypto is known for those notorious big massive moves that give you 1,000% so quickly. But I think when crypto really has its feet and will stay for a long time, I think it'll be a bit more gradual. So it won't do anything crazy, but I think when we see that gradual movement, that's when we know, okay, crypto is actually going to stay, because when it's doing all those big massive bullish cycles, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. You don't want to be seeing a market for going Bitcoin right now, doing this crazy moves like that. That's not healthy. That's not a good sign of the market. There's a saying, what goes up must come down, and things that do go up very, very quickly most of the time will come back down quickly. They might not do it straight away, but eventually they will do come back down pretty quickly. This is not stable price action or stable market movement. So when crypto does make its comeback, it will be a bit more gradual. I would expect, again, that's just me thinking out loud. It's not anything for certain, but I do think it will. But we're definitely in a bear cycle right now, so I would expect more downside in the near future. Inducement is when the market maker shows you something, then once you fall for it, it goes in the opposite direction. Okay, so basically a fake out then. To be fair, what I have noticed is that a lot of the concepts that I have, well, not all of them, but a fair few of the concepts that I have learned with price action, candlesticks, and just structure do occur in SMC trading, smart money concept trading, but they've got different names for it. So, a lot of these big fake moves, which I just call fake outs or false moves, are pretty much technical terms in the SMC world, which I have no idea about because I haven't learned it. But yeah, moving in one direction to go the opposite is a very, very common pattern that you can see, without, structure. I mean, if you look at this candle here, strong bullish candle here, what do you see next? A huge bearish candle going back down. All these bullish candles are followed by bearish candles, fake in one direction to go the other way. That's just simple, structure, which, is in my strategy, but I won't know obviously the full ins and outs of smart money concept and stuff like that. You need to learn the strategy, from someone who actually, uses that. But yeah, currently trading Pound Aud. There's a few pairs that I've been looking at. So like I said, Euro Pound has definitely surprised me with that momentum. If that can sustain, we could go a lot lower, potentially back down to those lows. So I'm going to keep an eye out for Euro Pound and see how that gets going. I'm looking at USD CAD trading at a very key level of support, which it may actually be breaking through currently. So yeah, it is trading slightly below it, so I'm going to see what happens. Again, this is a bit more of a higher time frame level, daily, weekly, so I'm not going to judge it by 4H closing below. We definitely could break through just to come back up later, but if the market can start to hold this level, oh, what happened there? My words just came out all jumbled up in my mouth. But if we can hold this level, I certainly will be looking for buys for USD CAD. Looking for that dollar strength to continue. If we get underneath, then I'll probably fold my arms and see what the next move is for USD CAD. But this is certainly a level where I do think we can go bullish from. But if this is just a big fake out, you can see that aggressive wick down there on the weekly. If that is a big fake out, we could obviously come a lot lower. So yeah, I've got my eyes on USD CAD at that level so far. Obviously, there's nothing there, just a lot of bearish momentum there. Low lows, low highs, nothing really to look into, but I'm going to see how that progresses throughout the day. More or less still pretty bearish. Like I said, CAD JPY, looking for some retracement if we can get that. Hopefully we can see some downside back into 100.36, and then from there I'll be looking for my long opportunities, because CAD JPY is probably the only JPY pair that looks the best to really look for some buys right now. Pound JPY does look good, but I need a little bit more from that, some development to get any clear buys. CAD, all I want to see is some retracement, and then we'll be looking to buy this pair. And highs of 102.700 look good. Hey, good morning, Ibrahim. Yeah, you haven't, to be fair. Missed you. Hope everything is all well with you. Right now the market looks like Arsenal. Yeah, definitely a lot of good news, but not promising. That was actually a good joke, to be fair. Yeah, Arsenal. I feel sorry for them, to be fair. They did it to themselves. That was a good joke. But yeah, I want to see how these pairs get going. I mean, I'm going to keep looking at USD CAD and Euro Pound, But to be honest, all the other pairs like Euro USD, we're seeing some nice retracement to the upside as well, back to the lows of the consolidation. So it's interesting to see what Euro USD to go next. Euro USD is gonna do next, because if we can hold this, we can come back down. But the only thing is, I'm not a fan of this price action, the way it's retraced. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some downside just for us to break back in that consolidation. And if we do break back in, that's a no-no zone for me. I'm not really trying to get involved in that area. But yeah, Euro USD is testing the low of the consolidation, so it'll be interesting to see what happens now. If we can form some lower highs, you know, I may look for some sells if it looks good, and obviously targets back at those lows. But if we break back inside that consolidation, I'm not really trying to do much with Euro USD, to be honest. I'll be waiting for the next move after that. If we can climb to the upside, that would be great, and then we can look for a real nice reversal. You know, because we've had that consolidation. Price tried to reverse once, it failed, came back in, dropped to the downside. Now, if we get back in, this would be a big fake out of that consolidation of those lows. Then we could use that to go bullish to the upside, and again, bit of a inverse head and shoulder forming there as well. So, you know, I would not write that off. We definitely are still trading at monthly support. You know, we still haven't broken through that support. We're going to monthly time frame real quick. You can see where we are trading. You know, that bullish reversal is definitely not off our cards, even though, like I said, dollar is still looking strong in terms of higher highs and higher lows. Obviously, you're seeing some downside right now. You know, this is definitely a level we could reverse from for Euro USD. So those buys, you know, even though the structure is bearish, we're seeing bearish momentum, the market's still bearish. I'm definitely not going to rule out the buying opportunity because of where we are, you know, stationed right now for Euro. But obviously, we do need to climb back above that level for me to be looking for any type of buys anyway. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm good. Hope you're doing well. I've already asked. Yeah, I'm doing well. Pound USD, of course. We'll take a look at pound. Hey, Sofiane, how are you doing? Do I trade gold? Yeah, I do trade gold. I do dibble and dabble in gold. Not as much as I do trade Forex, but I will trade it if I can find a good opportunity on that. Any insights what can happen during the NY session? You will take a look at that. Gold, we'll scale down to the lower time frames to have a look. But first, I'll take a look at Pound USD first. So yeah, Pound, I was analysing that earlier, and I'm saying I'm looking for a push into 1.26. So again, there's probably one on the lower time frames to look for, because on the 4H, not really much to go off by. The market is still bearish. We're still seeing lower lows and lower highs, but I would suspect if we can get some nice retracement back into that area, there could be some nice buys to take that right back into 1.26 up there, which is where I'm expecting price to go. And if that holds, then as you can see there, you know, I would expect price to come right back down again. So yeah, Pound USD overall still looking bullish. If that momentum can continue, 1.26 I believe would be the next destination for this one, which is where, you know, we'll see if the market will hold or not, or potentially reverse if we can snap through. But yeah, looking for some retracement for that one. Might not get it, we might just push straight through, which in that case you can look for the break and retest. But it would be nice if we can get some retracement, form that higher low, and then push on into 1.26. And you know, pip wise, it's looking pretty healthy as well. It's about 200 pips to the upside there. You know, we've seen some big moves for pound, and 200 pips is a pretty big move as well. So yeah, pound, I still see more upside for this one. But yeah, gold. So we'll take a look at gold on the lower time frames here. Gold, I'm still favoring a bit more upside. So my overall view for this is still bearish for gold, and I'm looking for shorts from a higher time frame perspective at the 1848, 1850 level, based on some higher time frame analysis. But looking at gold, on the 30 minute, very, very choppy. Obviously, we're coming back into this high here on the left here. But overall, we are still moving north. So I would expect gold to continue pushing to the upside here. We might come back down, maybe fade this level out, but I would expect gold to push through. So this level here of 1822, this kind of intraday level of support would be a nice level to buy from. It would be nice if we can get manipulation of that level and price, retest it, and then go bullish. But overall, this would be a nice support, because if we do break through the support, we most likely will just crash back down to the downside anyway. So if we do break through, just simply flip that bias, wait for that next lower high to form, then you can catch some nice shorts to the downside. But yeah, I'm looking for a push to the downside and then upside off the back of that. Going for the lower time frames, we're seeing some highs there. Overall structure is still pretty bearish on the higher time frames, that is. But yeah, very, very choppy here. So I'll look for a sell-off to the downside and then some higher lows off the back of that. So yeah, 1822, really nice place to buy from. And then it depends where you want to target, of course, but I've got those higher time frame targets in the back of my mind. So I'm looking for 1850, but that might take 1, 2, 3 days to play out. So I'm not sure you would look to hold it that long. We also have some news coming due. Yeah, I need to go and check actually. I saw this morning with pound and euro as well. Haven't checked for dollar. Long on Euro USD. Oh, wicked. We'll take a look from that double bottom on the H1, but on break even. Okay, that's decent. I mean, if you can get a trade to break even, that is happy days, because then the risk is off the table, and then let the market do its thing. Or is the price on your break even? Hey, thank you, Sally. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yeah, if you are guys enjoying the stream, feel free to leave a like. It does help the channel out, and it means that you're actually finding the streams useful as well, and you're not just here because you listen to the sound of my voice. But yeah, let me go take a look at the calendar real quick. Okay, so yeah, we had some pound news this morning. Euro came up a little bit later, 10. Okay, so yeah, we do have some dollar news coming out. I wouldn't suspect anything too big from that, but I don't wanna say that and put anything into you guys' heads, because last time I said that we did see a bigger move than I expected. So yeah, we do have some dollar news coming up, which is at 1:30, so that will be 2 hours and 19 minutes from now. That's 1:30 GMT. But yeah, 2 hours 19 minutes from now, we do have some US dollar news. So yeah, that probably would affect the goals. So again, if you're trading on the lower time frames, do watch out for that. Best thing to do, if you are trading the lower time frames with that news, try to enter after the news when things have settled. That way you can protect yourself a little bit better. No problem. Happy to help. News at 8:30. Still think this is going to be bullish. Yeah, again, that's what I said for pounds and for euro as well. To be honest, the pound pairs have pushed up to the upside very, very aggressively, and if that momentum continues, might not see that retracement, unfortunately. Which is what I'm actually looking for. I'm looking for them to come back down and then push high, especially GJ. Not really too much pound USD. Pound USD does look good, but I prefer pound JPY because of what the higher time frames are doing. But yeah, I'm looking for that downside move for pound JPY to get those buys going, for that nice kind of head and shoulder formation. So need a lot to happen for us to get those buys. But hey, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Not trying to force the market to do anything. We don't have any control over that. So yeah, you're all right. If that momentum does continue, we're likely just to keep rallying. So the only thing we can do is monitor, wait for opportunities to come to us. You don't go and force that. Then if we do get something, we look to capitalize on that. But yeah, if that momentum does push, we will still stay bullish. AUD good for a rise from 0.7. True, big psychological level. I mean, depends what what type of rise you're talking about. You're talking about a complete reversal, or are you talking about just a brief rise for maybe a week? Because that I can see, because again you can see this is the monthly time frame, by the way. Again, I know you guys don't probably do your analysis on the monthly, but the monthly is pretty good just to get that overall bias, not necessarily to take a trade based off, but just to understand where we're trading and any major levels we're rejecting. But yeah, we've got this key level here, 0.7, very, very strong, obviously, level in the market. Big move to the upside, had that false break, recovered, and now we're trading back at that level again. So yeah, from this level, we can see some upside. We have to take out that structure for us to completely reverse, which I'm not sure we will do. But if we can see some bullish momentum for a week, there could definitely be some nice buys to take advantage from. So yeah, you definitely are correct if we can stay above that. But yeah, we'll have to wait for a bit more development in terms of price action as well, because if you can see, the market is still quite bearish, and I'll wait for some higher lows, or some more higher lows to be printed. We've got the low there, we've got a higher low there. I'll probably wait for one more. If we can get a third higher low, that'll confirm that we are seeing some more upside, and then we've got some nice targets to be working with up here as well, around the 0.72 area. So yeah, I can see that upside for AUSD. I'm expecting to see some upside for AU, but I wouldn't confuse that upside for the bigger picture of things, which could still be south, because we are needing some retracement. But yeah, you are right if we do place those higher lows. So I wouldn't say it's confirmed yet, but maybe something to keep an eye out for, probably on the 4H time frame. Don't want to look too much into the intraday. I mean, how far are you looking for that rise to go, Zalman? Because it's all good, looking for the market to go up or go down, but the key $1 million question is how long for. You can stick a buy trade on, be out in 4 seconds, or probably not 4 seconds, out in a minute. Made some profit, but you could hold it for a day and that profit disappears. So it's all about how long for, how far. Again, you don't have to know just any estimations or any targets. But yeah, I've been looking at the JPY pairs, and I would suspect some upside. Pound JPY, we talked about that one. CAD JPY is the pair that I'm looking to get involved with, but use JPY, that one's been a little bit interesting. We are rejecting this level here, but the price action isn't the best. I said if we can hold this, I would expect price to come back into this area of consolidation. You can see this where we tapped into on Friday or Thursday, I believe, last week. We tapped into that area, very strong reaction to the upside. Excuse me, back into 129,600, which is that level. Now if price can hold this, we can form the next lower high. So we've got the high 1, high 2 of the back of news last week, potential third lower high for another rollover. Or if we do snap above this, then I'm expecting price back to the high. So that's kind of like the plan I've got going for USD/JPY. And obviously dollar's seen some weakness right now, so that's helping out. USD/JPY see some downside, but overall it is just kind of a big sideways gain there. Difficult to tell the next move. Okay, so you're just looking for intraday. So about due to the ASU and action to the fundamentals. Okay, so you're backing up with fundamentals. Okay, fair enough. I mean, intraday, if I look at AUSD on the intraday, completely lost AUSD. Where are you? Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, intraday, intraday we've already seen quite a bit of upside. And you should move that monthly level there. Intraday we've already seen a bit of upside. I mean, where did today start? Today started, back down here. We're still seeing that momentum. I suppose we could still be reacting to that news, and price could still take us further to the upside throughout the day. That definitely could be the case. But we are coming into some interesting areas right now, which is where I probably would avoid buying unless we can break through and retest it. But as you can see, this is where the market stalled a little bit, dropped to the downside. Obviously, this is where we had the news last week, tapped into this area, dropped to the downside, and now we're back up into that same area again. So Yes, we could break through. Again, fundamentals could definitely take us higher. But I would avoid selling, buying, at this level just from a technical perspective. Much better to wait for us to snap through and then get involved on the break and retest and take that higher, just because of probability reasons. And you just don't want to buy into strong level of resistance stroke supply. So yeah, we definitely could head higher, but I'll wait for us to snap through that area. Obviously, depending on your strategy and the way you look to view the market, but that's just my opinion or my advice of what I would do in that situation. But if you have a strategy going that says do this, do that, then fire away. But you just don't really want to buy into that sort of area. You typically want price to break through that and then look to get involved. Hey, cool trade, type in Forex algo indicator. Okay, let's see what that is. Hope you're not giving me something dodgy here. Well, nothing's coming up. Maybe just doing Forex algo. So yeah, which one would it be? Because all these guys are locked, locked. So I would imagine I can't get into that. So that's the only one that is not locked, and I have no clue what's going on here. So yeah, need a bit more explanation of what's going on there. Cool trade, but yeah, the other ones are locked. So yeah, I'm not gonna be accessing them. No problems, Alan, no problem. So yeah, I'll just wait for that resistance to go before getting involved. But yeah, if it does, feel free to buy away. Dollar was seeing some weakness intraday as well. Wow, we're really pushing to the downside for dollar. Dollar is really dropping. Getting a bit excited before the news comes out later. So it'll be interesting to see what the news does. Do we keep this momentum going, or do we quickly snap back? Again, from a technical point of view, this is where my focus would be on for dollar. If we break through this, I wouldn't say we're bearish just yet, but it probably means we're coming back down to this level here, 102,600. And then tap into that, might go bullish for a little bit and then maybe reverse, who knows. But if we break through that, that's probably the next target for this one, which means a lot more weakness and means a lot more strength for Pound USD and Euro USD. And as you can see, Euro breaking inside of that consolidation. I said that the price action for the sales just wasn't looking good, and obviously with that sudden weakness in the dollar, it's definitely helped Euro to break inside this consolidation. Again, I'd wait for candles to close, preferably a 4H candle to close, because I've drawn this consolidation area, this box, using the 4H time frame candlesticks. So I'd wait for the candlesticks to close, which is about 2 hours and 38 minutes. So a lot can happen in that time. But yeah, as long as we break back in and close back in, obviously I'm not going to touch Euro USD right now, because now it's in kind of my indecision area. So I'd wait for price to make its move. But from what I'm seeing and what I'm getting, this definitely here could be a false move in the market. Trap some more sellers into the market as this is moving down, like a climax of the move. Typically when we do have long going bullish or bearish trends, normally you do see stuff like this happen, where the market's trending and then it gets its climax move, big move to the upside, to trap in those last buys, grab liquidity, and then it starts to reverse. And I wonder if that is happening right now for Euro USD. Again, the best way to tell is just to wait for those confirmations, wait for us to break fully back in, wait for those higher lows, either at this level here, or if you break to the upside at the high of the consolidation, and from there is where you want to be basing your buy positions. But yeah, that's a big drop there, happened awfully quick out of consolidation. And the fact that we're breaking back in, which isn't confirmed yet, so we have to wait for those candles to close. But if we do, then it's giving me false breakout vibes, and if that's the case, we're going to see a lot more strength in Euro, and I would imagine us to break to the upside and like I said in my weekly analysis, do have some bullish targets all the way up there. And if we go to the daily time frame, so the last time we found support on the daily before we dropped. So that's what I'm expecting price to come back into. But obviously on the lower time frames, there will be areas you can target beforehand. You don't have to target the daily level. But yeah, euro breaking back in. What's your average time for being in a trade? Average time, I'll probably say, is about it depends. It depends between a winning and a losing trade. A losing trade, I'd probably say the average time is any between a few hours or a day. I'll say that's the average time for a losing trade. A winning trade takes about between 3 to 5 days, I would say. Because I do record duration when I log my trades. In fact, I do have a journal video which I'm posting tomorrow after my stream, so do look out for that, where I do show you how I journal my trades and how I mark things up and what I look to record so I can improve on later on. So yeah, I will be posting a video about how to journal trades, how I do it. So hope you guys can take some value from that. So keep an eye out for that video tomorrow. But yeah, it's about 3 to 5 days for winning trades and about a few hours to a day for losing trades, which is a good thing to know, because now I know when taking trades that my losers will happen a lot faster than my winners. So winners will take more time to play out, which means, because when you're back testing a strategy, for example, everything is so fast paced. Because all you're doing is, you're going back and then you're pressing play and everything's happened so quickly, and you don't have the time for your motions to develop as the bearish candles are forming, structures breaking, structures forming as the bullish candles are forming. There's a lot of thoughts and feelings that you feel, as price progresses, that you don't experience when you're using the replay tool, because it happens so quickly, and when you play out trades as well. So, when I do place a trade, I know that, okay, I want to be in this trade, if it's a winner, for about 3 to 5 days. Sometimes it could be a bit more, sometimes a bit less, but about 3 to 5 days. So it gives me time to actually, time to get away from the computer now and go do something else, because I need to let the market do its thing. And if it's a loser, probably by this time tomorrow, I'll know it's a loser, document that in my journal, and move on to the next opportunity. So it's a good thing to know the duration, because it means that you're not constantly just watching the computer or the laptop, seeing whether it's going to win or fail. Because you have the average duration, so you just sit back and wait for that time to be up, and obviously manage your trade accordingly as well. GU wants the same. Yeah, Pound USD probably would be doing the exact same thing as Euro as well. I did say it would be nice for Pound USD to retrace, but yeah, momentum might just pick up. You can see that's such a strong close in the 4H time frame. There is a good chance that we'll see the next 4H candle close bullish as well. The only thing is that we do have that level, which is trying to stop Pound USD, but momentum, if momentum is intact, momentum beats everything, it beats everything, beats technicals, fundamentals normally causes momentum, but definitely technicals. If you can't jump into front of a moving train, we got resistance there, but if the momentum sustains, we can break straight through that. So yeah, it would be nice if you can get that retracement, but dollar's very, very weak. Pound's probably still reacting to the news this morning. It's a recipe for price to continue higher, which means we can look to see what happens at 1.26, because if we just keep rallying straight through, it means that we don't have that retracement, that retest that level, which gives us another reason why we could actually look to roll over from here. So at least come back and retest that before maybe going bullish again or selling off, depending what dollar does in the next few days. But yeah, if you just rally straight through, the next area of interest for me would be 1.26 up there, which we tested once, twice, had a false break of, never really came back for the retest. So this will be the first time, and if we can hold that I would expect to see some nice downside, first target, second target, and then third target at the lows there, depending how far you want to push the trade. But yeah, 1.26 does make a good case to get into some shorts. Obviously, you have to wait for price action to get there, see the signals first, candlestick formation, all that good stuff before we do get involved. But yeah, 1.26, if we don't get that retracement, would be the next area where I look to see what pound's next move is, and in that case, just set an alert really, because there's nothing else for me to do. Would you consider a buy if it closes above resistance? No, I don't normally take breakouts of anything. Not really a part of my strategy. I've never really gone into breakout types of trading. Don't know why, but throughout my trading journey, I've done pretty much almost every strategy under the sun. Maybe apart from that Forex algo indicator, yeah, I've done pretty much almost not every strategy, but a lot of different strategies, a lot of different indicators. But I've never leaned towards breakout trading. I'm not saying it doesn't work, and obviously I'm probably not the person to tell you that because I haven't really traded it that much to know. But I do know that false breakouts happen a lot of the time, and typically, when a false breakout happens, that to me is a very, very good sign in the market, because it means we've faked the people out and now we're getting ready for the actual move. So I'm actually looking for those false breakouts to happen. I'm looking for the market to break above resistance and break back in, because I know those moves that happen after are normally very high probability, and the momentum is a lot faster because we've grabbed the liquidity. Now we can get going. So I'm actually looking for the fake outs to happen and then base trades off of that. So I'm never really looking to take any breakouts. I'll look to take a breakout on a retest, so I'm buying back off support. So it gives me a logical place to put my stop loss, but I'll never buy a market because it's broken through something. Because again, the markets are very, very manipulated, so you're leaving yourself a little bit exposed. But there definitely will be traders out there who trade breakouts and are successful off that, and fair play to them if they do that. But that's certainly not a way I would preach to trade or practice to trade really. But so yeah, I would never take the break. But if you meant break and retest, then yeah, I mean, I've got other pairs that I'm looking at rather than pound USD. Like I said, pound JPY I'd rather trade. So I wouldn't take it because it's not really a pair I'm focusing on right now. But in terms of the setup, break and retest, yeah, that is a setup that is in my plan that I do look to trade. So yeah, break and retest, very, very powerful pattern, and a pattern that I do trade often. But I wouldn't take this setup. If I was looking to take pound USD, it would have to be the retracement here or wait for price to come up there, and that's where I'll look to get involved. So in any one of these areas. Because again, I'm not really intraday trader. That's more of an intraday move, even though it's about 100 pips. Yeah, it's about 100 pips. But price could definitely do that in a day. It's really done this in a day, which is about 100 pips. News did help it out, but same thing. So yeah, it's not really a trade that I'm going to look for. I'd rather price finds that high low, then I get involved. But yeah, if it does have a good break and retest, momentum is with you, so that could be a nice trade to look into, but not a trade I'll get involved with, unfortunately. Not to say it's a bad trade, it's just that there's other pairs that I'm focused on right now, and because I do trade a wide range of pairs, I'm pretty sure the number's close to 30 pairs that I do look to trade. I can't be looking at so many different pairs, and the only reason why I do look at so many pairs right now is because I'm analyzing the market for you guys, and telling you guys my opinions on different markets and stuff. But it's not markets that I'm looking to trade. I do tell you guys which markets I'm looking to trade. Like I said, CAD JPY, I'm waiting for some buys for that one. Obviously, I'm currently trading Pound AUD, Pound JPY, I'm waiting for buys for that one as well. Euro Pound, I'm seeing if that momentum can continue, and I'm looking for a lower high to get involved with some sells if that can continue as well. And yeah, those are the main pairs I'm waiting, and also gold. I'm looking for gold to get back to 1850, and then I'll look to see if I can get some sales from back up here. But again, that's a bit of a while away as well. So yeah, those are the pairs I'm mainly focused on. No more than 5. Don't want to be focusing on more than 5 really. But yeah, other pairs that do analyze for you guys, it's just primarily for you guys. As I can't be looking at 10, 20 pairs and do the level of analysis that I do for a trade. It's just way too confusing, and I'm actually doing myself more harm than good. No problem. Happy to help. But yeah, we do have about half an hour left of the stream. So any other pairs or any trades that you guys are in, feel free to share your trades as well, or any trades that you guys are in. Feel free to share. We'll take a look and see what's happening. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait for these setups to occur. Again, it's the start of the new week. Last week was not the best for me. I have to be honest. Last week was not the best. Did take a couple losses on Pound CHF, and to be honest with Pound CHF, I just got the bias completely wrong for this one. There were some nice setups, to be fair, in terms of the structure and the analysis for it, but I just got the bias completely wrong, which again will happen. I'm not going to be 100% correct all the time, but yeah, I was looking for Pound CHF to roll over to the downside from this level, because we do have this kind of range here, and the market's moving sideways, and we've got this mid-level running through the market here, and as you can see was support there. Now the market was holding that as resistance, and normally what you see in a ranging market is that just before the breakout, the market will find some resistance lower than the high of the range just before it has the breakout. And the fact that we're holding on to this mid-level here was a good sign that the breakout was going to happen. And obviously structure on the higher time frames as well. Weekly, monthly was all pretty bearish, but yeah, unfortunately we broke to the upside, so I did take a couple losses. I had 2 attempts to trade this one, both did fail. So yeah, not the best last week off the back of that. But again, it's all about risk to reward. You can take 10 losses and then you only need well, it depends on your risk to reward. My risk to reward's between 3 and 4. So if I do take 10 losses, I only need about 3 wins to recover that, maybe even be in some profit as well. So when you have that kind of mentality, losses aren't really that big of a deal, and they're just a part of the game. And as long as you can keep that risk to reward to a healthy amount, you should always come out on top at the end of it. Maybe short term you have some good days, bad days, good weeks, bad weeks, good months, bad months, but in the long term, if you have that good risk to reward, you'll come out top, which is the real skill of trading, really, because I know a lot of traders out there will always trying to go for that 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 to 15 risk to reward, which again sounds brilliant, because if you can get 1 to 15, 1 to 20 trades, how do you expect to lose in the market? You can afford to lose 20 trades in a row and get back break even by just winning 1 trade. It sounds perfect, and if you win 2 trades, you got 40%, or depends how many percent you're risking per trade. It sounds great, but it's a very, very difficult process to do that, and only a very few handful of traders can consistently get those type of trades. And even when they do consistently get it, it's not back to back to back to back. There will be some days where they're hitting break evens. It's not quite going to those insane risk to reward targets. We'll be reversing back against them, and again those days they would have to ride them out. But when they do happen, it's beautiful. But yeah, don't get too drawn into the high risk rewards, because again, all you're trying to do is work on your profitability first, and then you can start to progress that further and further and develop better. If you're currently still struggling and you're not quite there yet, you shouldn't be really looking to try and hit 1 to 10 trades. You don't want to run before you can walk. Be able to walk first very well, and then look to run. It's as simple as that. Look to try and get consistently 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s, build on that consistently, and then see, okay, how can I maximize this opportunity, and and that's how you go from there, which is what I'm trying to do as well this month. Normally I've been averaging about 1 to 3, but now I'm trying to increase that to about 1 to 4, which again it's actually a big change. Even though you're like 1 to 3, 1 to 4, it's very, very little, but it's actually quite a big trend. Excuse me, it's actually quite a big shift, because if your stop loss is 50 pips, which mine can vary, but let's say stop loss is 50 pips, that's an extra 50 pips the market has to move in your favor. And if it doesn't and it starts to reverse, that profitable trade could change to a break-even trade, which if you had a 1 to 3 would have banked 3%, but now you banked a partial or a break-even. So it's a big change, but it's progression in the right direction. So yeah, a big lesson is don't run before you can walk. And there's no shame of hitting like a 1 to 2. Profit is still profit. Doesn't matter how big or small it is. And that's the aim of the game, really. And also go check out my trading plan video, which I did post on my channel last week. Again, great if you're starting out, because you do need a plan in the market. If you don't, you're just going to be freestyling everywhere, and that's a very ugly thing to get into. So go check out that video if you want to, of course. But I do recommend and give you guys good layout to how to structure and plan and approach the markets, and you can then tailor it to how you want it to do. Because again, I'm a bit more swing trader, but I know a lot of you might be day traders, so you can obviously tailor that still to your day trading style. So yeah, feel free to go and check that out. And like I said, I will be posting a video again tomorrow about journaling. So done trading plan, I'm going to move on to the journaling, which again is like it goes hand in hand with trading plan, but I chose to do it in separate videos because journaling has its own thing to go through. But yeah, we'll be posting that tomorrow. And yeah, some of you guys have requested some other videos like on supply and demand and structure as well. I will be getting to them. Again, it does take some time to film and plan the videos as well. But yeah, we'll be posting them in the weeks to come. So yeah, if there's any videos that you do want me to make, or you have recommended me previously, they will be coming out. And if there's any videos that you want to see in the future, let me know in the chat as well, so I can get them in the pipeline for you guys. But yeah, I will be doing those videos, and I will be doing like a sort of like a mini series on psychology as well, because psychology is one of the big things that has really interested me about Forex. Not necessarily the technical analysis. I mean, technical analysis I do love. I do love just analyzing the chart, really, as weird as it sounds, but I do love analyzing the chart and trying to understand how the market works and where it's going. But the psychology of it is very fascinating to me, because that everything we're seeing right now in the market is all psychology. From the fundamentals to the technicals to the sentiment, everything. It's all psychology, because it's how people react to the fundamentals and the news is what happens in the charts, which is sometimes why you see, say, pound gets a positive news, and you would expect the market to be going up for pound, but it's actually going down. And you're like, it doesn't make any sense, and it's because it's how people have reacted to that in the markets, and the shift between the buyers and sellers and the battle between that has caused the market to go down. And it's all about the psychology, and also that's what patterns are, that's what chart patterns are, that's what candlesticks are. They represent the psychology and how people reacted to certain things throughout the day. That's how you get your bullish and your bearish candlesticks and price going up and down. And you can look to that so much further in terms of how the candles are green and red. I mean, it might seem very simple, but the candles are green and red for a reason, not so you can differentiate between the candles. Yes, that's probably a part of the reason, but the main reason why the green and red is to play in your emotions. You know, as you've been a kid and grown up, you've always associated with green for go and red for stop. You know, red for bad stuff, green for good stuff. You know, when you get an answer right, it's a tick, it's a green tick, and when you get it wrong, it's a red cross. So when you see big bearish candles, you know, it's triggering thought processes in your head to get fearful or to get, you know, excited to sell the markets because it's going to crash. And same thing with the big bullish candles, which is a big thing in crypto as well. You know, all these big bullish candles, you know, because everyone's got it in their head that crypto has to go to 100k right now. All these big bullish candles is where people are buying into, just providing liquidity for the market to have this big rollover. Same thing for Forex, maybe not quite as much because Bitcoin is not as traded as Forex pairs. Certainly not Euro USD, which is obviously the most traded market out there. But it's the exact same principles. You know, bullish candles, bearish candles, all playing with psychology, and you can use that to your advantage. Certainly in crypto, because you can see each one of these bullish moves, the market sells off. You know, you can get ready to take advantage of that. Each one of these bullish moves, obviously in a bullish cycle, that's obviously the opposite. Price going to keep rallying, so it's up to you to differentiate between a bullish and a bearish cycle. But in a bearish cycle, you know, each one of these rallies, basically you're looking to sell it right back down, and that's how you make money. And same thing with bearish, a bullish market. Each one of the dips obviously provide you some nice buying opportunities. But again, it's all based around psychology, which is something I want to read to in a lot more depth. And it's a very, very interesting topic. And yeah, so I'm going to do like a mini series on that. Not so much about applying it technically into the market, but just about being self-aware of your thought process and your emotions, because that will lead to the decision making you do in the markets, which will eventually, you know, lead to whether you're profitable or you're in the red. So yeah, we'll do like a mini series on psychology. Well, just from my findings anyway. I'm not some psychologist or a person with a degree in psychology. Actually, my brother is studying psychology, to be fair. But yeah, that's besides the point. But we'll do that to kind of help you guys out, because for me, the biggest reason why people lose in the market is psychological reasons, not because they don't have the skill. You know, it doesn't take too much to have the skill to trade, really. You need a simple strategy. I mean, robots can trade and make money, so you don't really need some intellectual, you know, crazy skill to compete in the market. You just need something to be consistent at. Accept the losers when they come, accept the winners, make sure that your risk towards positive, and, you know, win, you know, at least 50%, or sometimes you can get away with 40% of your trades, and you will make money. So it's the psychological element that keeps people at bay. So yeah, I will get into that psychological series. But yeah, any other market you want me to look, not markets, any other markets you want me to look at, let me know in the chat. But any other type videos, let me know as well. If there's any, you know, certain technical topics, you know, or anything, do let me know in the chat. But yeah, currently in Pound Aud, and yeah, looking at some other pairs to get involved with, but nothing quite there yet. You can see price hasn't really moved too much. I mean, if I get rid of this, in the past hour we've seen that bearish candle there, but again, doesn't really represent too much in terms of that momentum, but it is still playing off the theme of these lower highs. Oh, completely forgot I had the drawings there. So it is still playing off the theme of the lower highs, which is a good positive thing, because that is basically the analysis behind the trade. We've got lower high 1, 2, 3, potentially 4, and from this we could roll over. Typically, I would normally like to add to my trade. So if I do get another entry signal, you know, I probably would look to add to that. With the stop loss back at where it is, probably with half the size that I'm trading. But the only reason why I wouldn't do that for this one is because the price action isn't very good, and price right now is reacting to some fundamentals off pound, which is why we got that strong bullish candle. So I know sometimes the technicals right now won't be fully in play because the momentum could just easily take us through the roof, and price action is very, very choppy in this area. So under this circumstance, I'll probably just let things be with that trade and see how we get going. See if you can respect that lower high and roll over. If you can, whoop-de-doo, because you see some nice downside. If you break through, then we're probably going to get a reversal and a bigger move up. But like I said, I'm still expecting strength for Aussie. Nothing too major, but I'm expecting some upside for Aussie, because Aussie has been very, very bearish for the past month, I would say. So I'm expecting some relief in that, and Pound Aud to come back down. But yeah, so far nothing really happened. Nice downside yesterday, but quickly erased with that one candle. We'll see how that gets going. Euro pound, I'm going to have my eye on this one because see if we're having a false break or not. Again, that is the trend line there on the weekly. So it's either we're coming back straight into this and then we're going to lead to the downside, and now that we've grabbed that liquidity, we can really start to melt the downside. Or price is ripping to the upside to retest the trend line now and this level here to go bullish and targets all the way up there. So I'm kind of trading at that critical area here for Euro pound, and depending if we hold or break through, it will make up my mind of where price could go. I wasn't expecting to see such bearish momentum right now, so we're at this level, and then if we can hold, I'm just going to be looking for those higher lows to get into those buys, and then targets right back at those highs there, and so on and so forth. If we just crash and burn right now, then we'll look to get into low highs somewhere, maybe in the retest of the level, and then we've got multiple areas to aim for, but overall targets will be back down at those lows for Euro pound. So yeah, gonna see how this one develops. It's definitely one probably gonna wait for this daily candle to close and wait for some price action tomorrow before I solidify that bias, because again, I've used this level, I've drawn this level using weekly and daily candlesticks, so I'm not going to look too much into the 4H closing below, maybe closing back above. If you're drawing levels on higher time frames and dropping to the lower to read if they're holding or not, you do have to take it with a pinch of salt, because if you've got a strong level in the higher time frames, price and lower time frames could break through, break back in, retest, go up, break through, and then retest, and then actually have the real move because it's broken and retested. So you have to not get sidetracked by those fluctuations there, which is why I'm waiting for the daily candle to close, because it will tell me a lot more meaningful information than the 4H will. So yeah, I'll wait for that daily candle to close, and then I can paint a better picture in my head for what will happen tomorrow. And if it closes above, I'll be looking for those higher lows to get in for some buys, simple as that. And if it breaks below, wait for us to probably drop a little bit lower, and then I'll look to get involved for some sells. But either which way, the targets I have to the upside and to the downside for Euro pound is pretty big. Nice swing trades that are developing, which when I see this type of opportunity, I'm getting excited because it's a nice trade that I can probably hold for a week or two, depending on momentum and everything. But if it does play out, should be some healthy risk to reward. And trade like this, could be done for the month, depending on the risk to reward. So we'll wait for that to develop. But yeah, I'm going to be working on. Hey BBG, welcome to the stream. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Any pairs you're looking at? But yeah, so I was going to say I'm just going to be doing some work on working on some back testing on maybe one or two pairs, which is a complete contrast to what I do right now, because I trade a wide range of pairs and look to trade it on the higher time frames, and I focus on particular pairs at certain times when price action is developed, and I look to get involved with that. but I'm going to look to see what I can do on the contrast of that, which is completely opposite, which is working on the lower time frames and focusing on one or two pairs. So I'm going to try and back test. I don't know, I need to pick a pair. I'm thinking like Euro USD, because that's a very, very, it's the most traded, market, so it's very concise, structured, nothing too erratic with its behaviors. So I'm thinking Euro USD and maybe like a Pound JPY, because that has bigger moves there, and it has more pips about it. So maybe those two, but I'll be focusing on one or two pairs and back testing my strategy on the lower time frames and seeing what kind of success I get between the lower time frames and the higher time frames. Because the only reason why I do trade at a big wide range of pairs is so I can always find the best setup available, because I work on the higher time frames and I could be waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks for a good opportunity on the 4H, and using the higher time frames to develop my bias. I could be waiting a whole month before I could get a good opportunity. And the funny thing is, I could be waiting that whole month to get a good opportunity just to take a loss, So that's why I trade so many pairs, because I can see which ones are ticking, which ones are looking good for the week ahead, and then I just simply divert my attention to those 4 or 5 pairs that I'm looking for the week. But with one or two pairs, I'm obviously taking part in, try and take part in pretty much all the moves that the market has. But I'll be working on the 15, 5 minute, and maybe even lower time frames for execution as well. So I'm going to see the contrast between the two. Obviously, I'm not going to be using any live accounts for that, but I'll be back testing those on the lower time frames to see how they get going, like a little side thing. I'm probably going to get that going for about 6 months, probably at least, before I make any big decisions, because I don't want to just completely stop what I'm doing just because I've got an interest somewhere else. But yeah, I want to see how that gets going and compare the two. But it will be the exact same strategy how I analyze the market. I'll be going deeper and deeper into the price action and just focusing on one or two pairs. So the strategy is still the same. It's just the pairs I'm testing out and the time frames I'm testing out. But for now, obviously, I'm just going to keep trading how I trade normally, and then just going to compare the time frames. Let's see Pound Aud. I think we'll go bearish since it can't break the resistance, tested many times already. Yeah, Pound Aud is actually the pair I'm actually currently trading right now. I entered yesterday, but obviously I'm still in that position right now. I posted that on the Telegram. Again, if you want to check out the Telegram, I'll link to that in the description and also in the chat, at the top of the chat, just go to the top. But yeah, Pound Aud, I'm still expecting that to roll over. We keep forming lower high after lower high after lower high. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6. This is not confirmed yet, but potentially 6 lower highs there. So it's showing us that the bears are still in control of this market. And we've tried to break this, 6 times now, and the market still failed. The only thing that is a little bit iffy about this trade is because Pound has reacted to the news this morning, so Pound's gaining quite a lot of strength. You can see that across the board for Pound pairs, and I'm just wondering if that Pound strength gain this morning will continue. Because sometimes what price does when it reacts to news, it reacts to news initially, and then it will settle, and then the real momentum and the real impact of news will come out later on, which could still take this higher and have the breakup. Because if you think about it, if price does want to break through this resistance here, it's going to need probably be news to break through the resistance, because after all these attempts now, it's going to need that extra momentum, that extra volatility to actually break through that level. And news is probably what's going to need to actually do that. So that's the only thing that is a little bit off. But in terms of the structure and analysis, which is the actual thing I'm trading, so all that stuff about the news I'm not really too invested in. I'm just focusing on the price action and the structure, because that's what I can be consistent with, and that's how I base my trading plan from. Forming lower highs, lower lows, looking at the higher time frames. We've got all this bearish momentum. I'm expecting another lower high to form. We've got one there. Looking at the next one being this January here, and I'm looking for push back down to these lows, and yeah, for price to go a lot lower as well. So yeah, Pound AUD still looks good to drop, but yeah, it's going to be a long way down, expecting this probably take a week or two if it does play out, unless we see some really nice bearish momentum like we did not too long ago. But yeah, I suspect it's going to take its time, but I'm here to take its time, anticipated for that. So yeah, we'll see how that one can get going. But yeah, in terms of analysis and everything, I'm still pretty much bearish on it. There's nothing that is telling me it's bullish. I know we had a strong candle close, but that doesn't really mean anything when the structure is still placing lower lows and lower highs. Well, lower highs at least. So yeah, Pound AUD still looking good to drop. I mean, that could be another entry signal. Like I did say earlier on the stream, this could be another entry signal where normally I would look to enter, but because of this was news, I'm not going to look to enter another position. I'm just going to see how this one gets going. But yeah, that could be another entry signal, because again, that's just potentially another lower high in reference to these highs here on the left. So yeah, we could definitely see another lower high form and a good drop to the downside. So yeah, if anyone looking to get involved, that could be an entry there. But just be aware that you are going against pound right now, which is not the best idea. But hopefully Aussie can gain that strength. Where did you get your knowledge on trading? Well, my dad introduced me to trading, so I did get a lot from him, but a lot of my knowledge now is a lot from just my own findings of the market, really. Yeah, mostly self-taught. Yeah, my knowledge is mostly self-taught, but my dad did put me on. My dad was the plug. No problem, BBG. BBG, yeah, I'm saying that right. Yeah, no problem. I mean, the Telegram is there for you guys to join. If anyone else wants to join, feel free to join. Link in the description for that. Check it out. I mean, oh wow, it's come to 12 already. I did not even see that. Maybe it will test more times until it breaks out. Yeah, I mean, more or less what we have right now is consolidation. I mean, we're looking at the lower highs, but more or less all we do have is consolidation, and anything can happen in consolidation. So going to see how that gets going. We did see some nice momentum yesterday, but news has kind of skewed things. So we'll see how price develops. Again, I will be live again tomorrow. So if I do, if I was still in the trade, which I most likely will be, unless obviously it takes me out for a loss, but if it's a win, it's probably going to take its time to actually play out. So yeah, I will keep you guys posted on the development of the trade. Got the TPs there, which I did post on the Telegram. So if we do get back down to those areas, look to secure some profit. Came so close to the first one, but unfortunately did reverse there. But analysis is still on for this one, so I'll keep you guys updated and keep you guys posted for tomorrow's live stream, which again will be the exact same time as today, 10 a.m. to 12 London time, BTS. So yeah, we'll see how that gets going. There's a few other pairs I'm looking at CAD JPY longs, hoping to get some retracement into that zone and then some buys back to highs. USD CAD, I'm keeping an eye on what we do on this level here. If you can hold, I do think price can go bullish. If you break through, bearish. Same thing for Euro Pound. We're at a key higher time frame level. If we can hold, I think I'll just wait for the daily candle to close for this one. But again, still making up my mind for Euro Pound after that big drop we had off the back of that pound news. I will keep an eye for Euro Pound and Pound JPY as well. Looking very, very good for some longs. We could just keep rallying, but I'm hoping that we can retrace. And if we do, I'll look for some longs. If we break through, I'll probably let things go because it's not quite meeting what I'm looking for. If it does retrace, looking for that right shoulder there, left, head, right, and then longs back to 163,500. Yeah, any other pairs? Not really on my watch list. Euro USD is looking good because it's breaking through. So I do think a nice long opportunity, a bigger long opportunity can form. But again, that still does need some time, and we still haven't confirmed. You know, we have slightly closed back in the consolidation in that previous candle. But if this candle closes anywhere around here, we'll really confirm that. So Euro USD longs do look good, but they do need time to develop. But yeah, those are the pairs that I will be focusing on probably for the rest of the week. And if I do get anything, like always, I'll share it in the Telegram. But like always, I hope you guys have a great day. If you found the stream useful, helpful, enjoyed it, please do leave a like on the video. It does really help the channel out, and I'm grateful for all of the kind comments that you guys do leave in the chat. You know, they are really beautiful. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Check out Telegram if you want. If you are looking for a broker, I've got IC Markets there with my affiliate link. Feel free to go and check that out as well if you are looking for a broker. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.